This mathematical inquiry project is designed to promote effective problem solving, fluency, reasoning, mental and written strategies. Students follow a problem solving approach to calculate which food item from the tuck shop produces the most earnings from their class. Inquiry mathematics allows students the opportunity to think about and explain their mathematical thinking in more depth. They must invent a method that incorporates data collection, data display and multiplication in order to solve the inquiry question. These capabilities have real-world relevance as they can be applied in other learning areas and will have implications outside of and beyond the school environment. This inquiry unit is targeted at Year 3 students and is constructed over 4 lessons. By the end of Year 3, students solve problems using efficient strategies for multiplication, interpret and compare data displays, and conduct simple data investigations for categorical variables. In this presentation of teaching, the introductory lesson, the Discover phase, will be demonstrated and explained. This mathematical inquiry lesson directly aligns to 2 key content descriptors that are under the Year 3 Statistics and Probability strand. These are collect data, organise into categories and create displays using lists, tables, picture graphs and simple column graphs with and without the use of digital technologies, and interpret and compare data displays. The learning goals for this lesson directly align with the Year 3 Australian curriculum. These are students identify and interpret different types of data displays, lists, tables, picture graphs and simple column graphs. Students compare different data displays and explain their reasoning, and students create a display incorporating digital technologies to present their data. These will provide students with the understanding in order to determine which data display is best suited to represent the data required for this investigation. In doing this, students' problem-solving and reasoning capabilities will be enhanced. To initiate the lesson, the inquiry question is posed: which food item from our tuck shop produces the most earnings from our class? The tuck shop ladies have asked Year 3 teachers to provide them with their class's favourite tuck shop items and what these are and their associated costs. This is so they can determine whether the costs of students' favourite foods are reasonable. The background of the inquiry question is provided to students so that they understand the purpose and real-world applications of this unit, lesson and activity. A class discussion is then initiated in order for students to determine the process they will have to take to solve the problem. Class discussions are essential in determining students' prior knowledge, their understanding, and are a key component for developing critical thinking skills. They also allow students the opportunity to elaborate, defend, and extend on their positions, views, and beliefs. It is essential in a modern classroom that adjustments can be made in order to accommodate for all students' learning needs. For students who have visual impairments, this activity can be completed verbally. Although this activity is to be completed individually so that each student has the opportunity to develop their understanding and knowledge, pair work is an option for students who are struggling with this topic. A teacher aide would also be accessible if required. These opportunities for social interactions will also develop the students' cognitive development. Students will complete a mix and match activity for this lesson. It can be used as a form of assessment to gather students' understanding and knowledge and determine which students will need further assistance or explanation in the following lessons. The activity is comprised of 3 parts which increase in complexity. In the first part, students will have to correctly match up the corresponding data displays to the titles and definitions. In Year 2, students create lists, tables, picture graph and simple column graphs. Therefore, this first part in the activity will be an indication of students' prior knowledge of data displays. In Part 2, students are provided with an inquiry question: what is students' favourite sport? And they must decide which data display is the most suited to representing this question and explain their reasoning. This is a new concept as students are not required to compare data displays in previous year levels. Finally, students will have to create a column graph to display the provided data on students' favourite subjects. This portion of the activity is the most relevant as students are required to do this for the unit assessment. For quick finishes, an extension activity will be provided to allow students the opportunity to create their graphs on a computer. Throughout the activity, students will be asked questions to establish their mathematical thinking process and determine their level of problem-solving competence. These are: what type of graph is most suitable and why? How will you record your work? How can you explain your graph? And can you create a table and a graph to show what these findings could look like? Students will share their responses and activity sheets with their peers to compare their ideas. They will then participate in a class discussion to reflect on the activity and their newfound knowledge. In conclusion, this mathematical inquiry lesson is essential for Year 3 students as it improves on their data display, reasoning and problem-solving skills. Thank you.